and welcome to the Velveteen Lounge Kitchen.
Hi, everybody.
We have two recipes for you today. A vintage apple recipe that was a fail, but I believe I have saved it. And an Applejack cocktail because it's fall. And I think I'm ready for the Applejack cocktail first because the recipe fail put me in the mood for a drink. So we have today the Honeymoon Cocktail from the 1965 edition of Mr. Boston. And Paul's going to read it off to you the way it is in Mr. Boston, and then I'm going to tell you what I did because I added a lot more booze. So hit it!
Modify as necessary. The Honeymoon Cocktail, a sort of a classic Applejack cocktail, calls for 3/4 of an ounce of Benedictine.
Oh, I had the Applejack first.
Yep.
The Benedictine. I did use 3/4 of an ounce Benedictine per drink. So far I'm with the recipe.
Also 3/4 of an ounce of apple brandy.
Now, I used 2 ounces of apple brandy.
That sounds like a sensible
Change
to me.
But it's been a day.
Calls for juice of a half a lemon.
Okay, so I did 3/4 of an ounce lemon per drink.
Yeah, these recipes that are a little vague, you think, that's exactly what now?
Yeah, it depends on the size of your lemons.
Size of the lemon. Half to with 3/4 seems reasonable. Actually, 3/4 sounds like a good idea with all the rest that's going on there. And 1 teaspoon of Curacao.
Okay, I did a 1/4 ounce of Curacao.
There we go. Shake well with cracked ice.
Can do. All right.
And
strain into a cocktail glass. These away.
Or two.
This is going to be a big drink. And I'm good with that. All right. 1 for you.
Don't mind if I do.
1 for me. All right. Chin chin.
Ein Prosit.
Ooh, that's good.
That's quite nice.
That's really good. And I think that I needed that extra Applejack in there.
I think that your modifications definitely improved this one from the recipe inside here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Are you ready to try a recipe fail and subsequent save?
I'll take the save.
All right. Let's go get it. Okay. It's time to sample our spaghetti with applesauce meat sauce, which was supposed to be applesauce meatballs, but that didn't work.
So what happened?
Well, in my opinion, a lack of breadcrumbs and eggs is what happened. But I took this recipe from 1969's Real Old-Time Yankee Apple Cooking by Beatrice Vaughn. And there's a picture of Beatrice on the back. By all accounts from the photo, she looks like a very nice lady. But
Bee's a real doll.
the recipe for applesauce meatballs was a fail. So they wanted you to start with 1 pound of ground beef. I used ground turkey, but whatever. Half cup of applesauce. I made my own because we went apple picking yesterday. A 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs. A beaten egg. A teaspoon of salt and ground pepper. And you mix it all up and roll it into balls. And then she wanted you to brown those on the stovetop. And when you go to brown those on the stovetop, they don't have structural integrity, and it totally failed. Those meatballs just fell right apart.
Totally fell apart.
Usually when I do these types of things, I don't use a recipe, and I use a lot more breadcrumbs than that, and probably at least 2 eggs. So
gluten, your friend.
Yeah, so that didn't work. But I decided to give it a save. So she wanted you to brown those, put them in a casserole, and then make a sauce using a chopped up carrot, a chopped up celery stalk, half a chopped green pepper, and 1 chopped small onion. I used half an onion because I had a huge onion. And then you add that to your same pan that had the meatballs and 2 cups of tomato juice and bring that to a boil and pour it over the meatballs. Well, since I had no meatballs, I fried out those ingredients, everything except for the juice, the tomato juice, with my meat mixture, and sort of deglazed the pan with my juice. And then I like flavor, so I added a teaspoon of garlic powder and a half teaspoon of cinnamon and salt and pepper, and made this lovely sauce that you see before you.
So after all of that applesauce, blah blah blah, it's basically a bolognese.
It's saved. You know, I didn't throw anything away,
Smells nice.
but
Yeah.
let's see what we
try this out.
think.
Yeah.
All right. I'm getting all
sauce in here.
pasta, no sauce. All right. You know what? Let's just get the sauce.
That's quite nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saved. It's saved. Well, go ahead.
Sometimes the recipe leads you astray. Let's just face facts, folks.
I was about to say, watching those meatballs fall apart was a dismaying experience, but this is really good. So I feel like nothing was wasted, and I will happily eat this.
Occasionally, you pivot.
However, I do think that this is a wine meal, and I still have my cocktails, so better finish this so we can get some wine.
Guess you better get busy, Ms. Velveteen.
I guess so. All right. So this was a success after some suspense and fear of dismal failure. But that's how we roll at the Velveteen Lounge Kitchen.
You made it happen. Sometimes you pivot.
All right. So that was good. So thank you to Beatrice for the idea. It worked in the end.
Thank you for Mr. Boston to a classic cocktail, which with a little tweaking actually achieves what I think we would do. I know that you would do.
It's getting me where I want to go.
And you did.
So please join us tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern for another Liquored Up Live broadcast. But in the meantime, we will
see you soon.
Bye. Do I have meat in my teeth?